So anyway, it's great to have all of you here that are here with us in the Boca Center. How many of you are brand new? Show me some hands. Great. So, most importantly, I want to thank your friends that brought you, right? Because that's how it goes. Word of mouth is the way we spread it. You know, over all the years I've been in the center, and it's almost 30 years now, the thing that I've learned the most is the most powerful way to draw people is just go out and live it. It's not going to come from the teachers. I mean, we can pass on messages that we've gotten from our teachers, as you'll hear a little today, but the most powerful thing is when you go out and people see you shining with light. All of us want a better life. All of us want to know ways and means that we can handle life's challenges. So when people who know you see that you're handling things with a little more peace, a little more serenity, a little bigger smile, they're going to be curious. What's going on with you? I know you. This isn't like you. And then you say, well, I'm coming to Spiritual Sunday, I'm learning Kabbalah, and that's it. Then they want to show up just to find out what this is all about. And that's how we've grown from maybe 200 people in the world to millions who are watching us or have learned with us around the world. It's because of the people. It's not because of us. It's your work. So I want to applaud you. And the people who are watching here on Facebook doing the same thing. I mean, we're reaching all kinds of countries that I can't even pronounce some of the names. Anyway, let's get started. I promised you angels. Anyone interested in angels? Oh, yes. Okay. So here we go. When my kids were younger, I always love it when my kids, when they were like 12, and they say, well, when I was real young, when I was little, I said, well, it's 12. Anyway, so when they were younger, they watched a movie called Angels in the Outfield. I don't know if you ever saw it, right? If you have kids or grandkids. So it's an amazing movie about the power of angels. But there's one boy who sees the angels, right? It's basically, quickly, it's a baseball team not doing too well. They don't have confidence in themselves. So this boy prays, and the angels show up. But he's the only one who can see the angels. So everyone else, first they don't believe. And of course, as the team is doing amazing things, the angels are coming behind them and lifting them up to make the catch and throwing the ball from the pitcher. And, they start to win, they start to win, they start to win. And of course, you're probably already getting the end of it because it's a real feel-good movie. At the end of it, the angels stop working for them and they're doing it on their own. Meaning the angels came and gave them the confidence and the certainty about their own talent and ability. And as long as they felt the angel was there, okay, here came the certainty and the confidence. And then the angel stopped, and they realized, where's the real power? The power's in them. And that's what we hear. The angels, I don't know what you've heard or what you believe about angels, but I'm going to share with you what the Kabbalists teach. The Kabbalists teach us that angels, the word malach, which is an angel, is the same word for a messenger. So an angel, it is a packet of energy. And a messenger of that energy from one place to another. So it can be from person to person. When you pray, when you're meditating for somebody's good, you're sending angels. When you pray to the Creator, you want to draw blessings or good things from the Creator. It's an angel that delivers it. So most valuable to us is to understand we're the ones who create angels. We're the ones who are sending messages. I mean, now whether it's automatic on the computer, what do they call it, email, electronic stuff, or it's still the snail mail, who creates the message? You do, right? You write a letter, you want to send a gift to somebody, you create it. But do you actually deliver it? No. You take it to the post office or you put it through the internet, and the internet or the mail carrier delivers it. And where do they deliver it? Where you've decided, right? You write it. You put an address, this is the destination. They're just the intermediary. They're not the one creating the mail, and they're not the one deciding where it's going to go. You've created it, and you've decided where it's going to go. So the Kabbalists teach us the same with angels. Angels are packets of energy that we create. We create with our words, our thoughts, and our actions. So that's why, as we affirm every Sunday, what's the first line? The first three words. Consciousness is everything. So we want to be more conscious of what we're doing because we're creating angels that are delivering messages. So it's like this simple thing. You wake up in a bad mood. What energy are you generating? Not so good. And where you're sending it, kind of everywhere. You got like a bad mood or a sour mood about everything. So essentially you're sending out these packets of energy all over. And then you wonder why when you go to work, things still look like a little sour, a little moody, because you sent the angels there and they've prepared the way for you. So when you wake up in a good mood, now what's happening? You're just happy with life. You're happy with the world. You're creating angels, and those angels are also going out wherever you send them. So then it serves us to think good of other people. Even they did something bad, it serves us to do good, to think well. Because then the angels that we create, they're coming back to us. Just like the letter. You write a letter, and wherever it goes, what are they receiving over there? The environment, the energy, the thought that you put in that letter. Or whatever it is. So in the same way, it comes back to us. Now, I also want you to understand that there are certain, in the Big Bang, in the creation of this world, there were also angels set up. I mean, how many of you and I decide how the sun and the moon are going to revolve around the universe? Do we decide that? Did you decide what time the sun is going to come up? Or the moon is going to come out? Or any of those things? No, but they take place automatically. Because there is a nature to things. Well, the same way that there's that nature that takes place automatically, what empowers it? What empowers the moon to circle the sun? What empowers the earth to circle the sun? What empowers the sun to have energy? The light of the Creator. How does the light of the Creator get to them? Now you're following the idea? Angels. Angels are packets of energy that are delivered, messengers. In fact, the Kabbalists go so far as to say that not a single blade of grass grows until an angel strikes it and says, grow. Because remember, now we're thinking a little differently. An angel is energy. So what causes a blade of grass to grow out of the ground? The energy, the light of the Creator. So it's delivered that way. So there are certain angels, whether we call them the archangels, guardian angels, etc., that were created in the Big Bang. They're still here serving us. But they're a little different than the ones we create. We can draw on them. Right? The story that we just read recently about Abraham. Abraham had 3 angels come to him. If you read in the Bible, it says 3 angels came, and each one had its own mission. Each one had its own mission. One came to heal him. One came to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. One came to, resurrect, if you will, the female organs of Sarah. She could have a baby. So each one has its own unique mission, but some are drawn on by us and some are created by us. So we can draw on the angel of healing. But that goes by our consciousness again. If you have the consciousness, not I need to be healed, but if you have the thought that, or you have, heaven forbid, some ailment, the best way to be healed, yes, is to call on the angels of healing, but not just for ourselves. The more we're sending the healing to other people, the more the angels will also do for us. Because remember, the angel goes out to deliver the message. The archangels or the ones we create, they don't stay with us, they go out where we send them. So then if we're sending healing energy to other people, either from our own consciousness or drawing on those angels, then the healing will come for us as well. But if we're saying, give me, then it's not what an angel does. The angels go out. So we have to be that same way, like we've always talked about. We have to be like the light of the Creator, going out from us. So when you're sending angels out to other people for health and peace and love and prosperity and forgiveness and tolerance, that automatically becomes yours. But when a person's asking for, give me something, it doesn't work. Because we've already been filled with the light of the Creator 100%. We already have it all. The only thing that's missing is seeing it in our life. So in simple terms, our life is out there, right? I go to work. I go on the street. I go shopping. I go to the movies. So I want the light and all my talents and abilities that's inside me, I want it to be projected out. To go out where I like to see it. Peace, love, harmony in my life. So I send the angels, I send the light the same way. So they're the ones we create, and they're the ones that are existent already. Right? That's it. Now, when you read the Bible, the Kabbalists teach us, because there's a few stories I'd like to share with you. The Kabbalists teach the Bible is history. We do believe, and you don't have to believe, but the Kabbalists teach us that these things actually took place. But it's bigger than what happened historically. I mean, a simple way. When Edison invented the light bulb, was it only for his time? So we have to go back to his time and say, well, that's where the light bulb is. Where's the light bulb now? It's here. So he invented it at a point in history. Yes or yes? The new people going, wait a second, that's not a choice, right? He invented it at a point in history, but it's continued on for us today. In the same way, what Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Moses, and all the people in the Bible did, they did in their time, but especially because those people were on a much higher level of consciousness, they also set invention, if you will, or convention in this world for all the rest of us, for all eternity. And that's what we're learning. So you start with one of the first stories, Moses at the burning bush. Right? Moses is walking along, he's having a good time. All of a sudden an angel turns his head and he sees a bush that's burning, but not consumed. So of course he's a little curious. He walks over there, and you know the rest of the story. He hears the voice of God, and God tells him, I want you to go take the Israelites out of slavery and bondage and all of this and this and this. But what does it have to do with us? So how many of you right now have been walking around asking, I need more guidance, I need more clarity? Right? I want to be on a spiritual path, and maybe I've been on a spiritual path, but I've hit this point where I need more clarity, inspiration. That's what the burning bush is. The angel will come, and you'll have that thought, right? Like the new people. The new people, why did you think today to show up here? You can tell me they've been telling me for weeks, or they just told me. Whatever the reason on the physical, the 5 sense world, that's not the reason. The reason you showed up today is because that angel gave you the inspiration, like the burning bush, and said, go see what it is. Go see why your friends have been telling you about it, etc. So that's what we learn from the angel at the burning bush. Then, of course, there's the story of Jacob. Jacob, the patriarch, right? The one who set in motion the 12 tribes of Israel and all the spiritual systems. He wrestles with an angel. He wrestles with an angel overnight, right? And then he gets blessed because he defeats the angel. He gets blessed. So he changes his name from Jacob to Israel. So how many of you think where you are now is all you can become? Thank you. Exactly. Right? I hope nobody out there raised their hand. Right? We all can be a higher level of ourselves. So even if we're whatever, Joe or Mary 3.0, the Creator's got 10.0, 50.0, something yet higher. So Jacob's story of struggling with the angel. And what was the angel? It wasn't call it a good angel per se. It was the angel of opposition. It was the angel of negativity. So then every negative thought that we have about ourselves or about other people, that's that angel. And as we'll wrestle with it, should I forgive them? I should not forgive them. Should I care for them or not? Should I be tolerant or not? Even when you look at yourself. Should I believe I have more capability than I have? Or should I look at what happened the last 5 years of my life and say, well, that's it. That's the struggle that Jacob is teaching us with the angel. That's our angel. Is that struggle that we're going through. And as we defeat that angel, as we defeat those thoughts and we overcome them, then guess where we go? 3.0 to 4.0, 4.0 to 5.0. Wherever you go to that next level of your light beingness. So that's the struggle. So yes, he struggled with an angel and he raised to the level of Israel. You and I struggle. Sometimes they've even called it the dark night of the soul. You hear about people struggling, that dark night of the soul. They're not sure what's going on. They're caught up in negativity. Are they doing the right thing? That's it. That's the wrestling. And then, of course, just to show us that angels are constantly working, that they never stop, you have the story of Jacob and the ladder. Jacob's ladder. He goes to sleep. He sees a ladder going from where? Earth to heaven. And what's going on that ladder is not just people, it's angels going up and down and up and down and up and down this ladder. Just to show us, one, like we've said, every thought, word, and deed creates an angel, and they're constantly moving and going. But the other is to understand, just like we said, the sun and the moon and the stars move, grass grows, nature works, even our body. How many of you right now are deciding on your breathing, or you're just breathing? It's kind of automatic. the autonomic nervous system. So there are things that are on automatic pilot, so to speak. Can we take control? Yes. Can we let the control just go? Yes. So when you see Jacob's ladder, you read the story, it's telling us that the angels are always working. I mean, the grass is always growing. What's making it grow? Now you know. Because an angel strikes each blade of grass. It says grow. The light of the Creator is infused in every one of those blades of grass. So too, where do you think the angels are going relative to us? Those angels of our nature. Now there's an angel that sees, if you're at 3.0, there's your angel of 4.0. It's also going up and down that ladder, and it's also giving us inspiration. That may be what most of us call our guardian angel. It's always whispering in our ears, do this, go that way. And we've got to fight that negative angel that's telling us, no, I can't, I'm not capable, it's not going to happen, and all the doubt and all the fear and all the worry. That's our struggle. That's what we're here to do. And the beauty is, one, we can call on the angels, like we said, the angels of healing, prosperity, etc. But we can also change the angels that we've created. The same way we've been learning, those of you who've been in the classes, who've been here for a while on Spiritual Sunday, we learn to change our nature. So if we change our energy, what happens to the angels? If they're the energy that we've created, then they're also changed. So if right now you're thinking not so nice about somebody, and now you're understanding, I've sent all these angels out there. Well, just recall them. You change your nature, you start to awaken a little love, compassion, forgiveness, tolerance for that person. What happened to the energy? The energy of animosity just transferred into the energy of tolerance and patience. And guess what? The angels take it and they go out and they change the message they're giving that person. That's the story of Jacob and Esau, two brothers. Esau couldn't stand Jacob, wanted to kill him. So imagine, the word gets to Jacob that your brother Esau is coming after you, and he's got hundreds of men. So imagine now the angels that Jacob first is creating. Fear. He's got hundreds of men or thousands of men. What have I got? I've got, like a number of women and children and a few people around me. So first it's fear. So what's he sending out? The angels of fear. But then what did he decide? Like you and I are learning to do. Stop for a minute. I'm sending fear. What does that mean really in that moment? I forgot my connection to the light of the Creator. I forgot the power that the Creator put inside of me. So instead of being worried about Esau, what did he do? And it says literally, he started to love him. So he sent angels, not of fear, he sent angels of love. Angels of tolerance. Angels of compassion. Because he began to understand the only reason Esau hated him was because Esau's negative angel made him believe that Jacob was against him, that Jacob was intentionally doing harm to him. So, most of those people we have animosity towards, it's the same thing. Their perception is somehow we're doing something that's blocking them, which is their own perception. So then we want to clear it up. So as we'll start to send angels of love, care, and compassion, it will change their perspective. And so it says when Jacob and Esau met, as much as Esau originally wanted to literally kill Jacob, he couldn't. The only thing he could do was hug and kiss him. Big transformation. You and I have that power. But we have to be conscious and we have to start sending out those angels. Changing it. Now, as much as angels are these metaphysical energy forces, so too the Kabbalists would teach us that angels will appear in physical form. So you go back to that story of Abraham. The three angels came to Abraham, but it says they came in human form. They sat and ate, they had conversation, they talked, they had a good time, etc. Now, what does that mean for us? So you're waiting to see an angel, like you see in the movies. The angel lands with the wings and then the wings pull in and now they're just a regular person. Unfortunately, most of us are not going to see that. Maybe some of you have, it's okay. Right? You're not going crazy, it does happen. Yeah. Okay, there's two people who've seen that, right? I'm not really crazy, okay. It does happen, but it's not what we should be looking for. What we need to be more aware of is the angels that are constantly in our life. But they take on human form. They'll be the person that gives us a little inspiration. They'll be the person that touches our heart in the right moment. It's the person who comes along. It's a very nice story that I read in Reader's Digest. I have to give it credit. 9-year-old girl. I mean, imagine a 9-year-old girl becoming aware of homeless people. And she starts to feel bad. I mean, look at these people. They're out on the street. They don't have whatever it is. She's got a house. She's got food, clothing, and shelter, etc. She's seeing they don't have. They don't have. So what does she do? She decides she's going to help them. So she starts to, number one, ask her family and friends for toiletries. But not only that, she gets material and she sews at 9 years old. She sews, what do they call it, like a messenger bag? Right? She sews them herself, she puts in the toiletries, and then she goes out to deliver them. So now, imagine from the homeless person's point of view. They're out on the street, they're down and out, whatever the situation may be, and here comes a little angel. And not just because she's 9 years old, because she's also a messenger of the light of the Creator for these people. And she's bringing them something that they need. That's an angel. That's an angel. I have a student here in Boca. She was telling me a story that happened to her a few years ago. She's riding her bike in the street. Car came along, I guess for whatever reason wasn't looking, and hit her and knocked her into the middle of the street. Not very good. Right? Traffic still going. She says in like a second, as she got knocked into the street, she says some man came along, picked her up and pulled her out of the street before the cars could hit her. So kind of helps dust her off, this, that, and the other thing. Gives her his name and a business card and says, if you're going to go after them or whatever it is, just call me and, here's my information. And then he literally disappeared. So she goes home and 2 days later, she's trying to arrange things or whatever. She calls the number. She got his name, she got his number. She calls the number, no such number. Okay. That sounded familiar. Okay. Right? The number didn't exist, and the company that was on the card didn't exist either. Just an angel in human form that comes along. We have those kinds of things happen to us all the time. Sometimes it is just that thought of inspiration. You wake up in the morning, you've had a question the past few days, and suddenly you wake up with the answer. Yes, it's delivered by an angel. But there's also the angel of the physical person. Years ago when I was in New York, you know how you have people standing on the street, and some of them seem to be in their senses, and they're just promoting something, and some seem to be a little beyond their senses. Let's call it that way. I had a question in my mind as I'm walking down the street, and here's what we'd normally say is, one of those like crazy type people. But for whatever reason, because I've learned from my teachers to listen, just as I walked by, who knows what he said before or who knows what he said afterwards, but in those few seconds that I walked by, he said something that gave me an answer I was looking for. I've learned to listen. Doesn't matter, to children, to people who are beyond the senses or what have you, because there's always a message for us. We just have to listen. We had another experience in New York. Years ago, we used to be out in Times Square. We had a table of books, right? Show people Kabbalah books, get them familiar. Of course, it's a busy place. One man walking down the street, he's on his way to commit suicide. Walks by the table of books. For whatever reason, the angel turned his head, he looked, he saw it. He saw a very interesting book called Wheels of the Soul, about reincarnation. Has a baby on the cover. Caught his attention, he got the book, he went home, he read the book, he became a student of the center. And then he shared the story. So who were the angels? They were people. They were the people that were standing there at the table that were there at the right time in the right moment to save his life. We all have those kinds of things. 30 years ago, in fact, if you want to know exactly, March of 1987, I had an angel came to me. I was also struggling, even though I was teaching spirituality, but I wasn't sure I had found my final destination, where I really needed to be. And an angel, in the form of my cousin, introduced me to the Kabbalah Center. I went that night, and I heard Karen Berg. 2 nights later, I heard Rav Berg. Changed my life forever. They were angels for me. Are they physical people? Yes. But they carry messages that help inspire us how to change, how to raise our consciousness, and not only affect us, but affect the whole world. How to change the world. I'll tell you one more story. I hope I can get through it. Some of you may have heard it. I think I shared it a year ago or whatever. But when I first came to the center in 1987, one of my older brothers had been battling cancer on and off for a while. So when I came to the center, I moved from LA to New York, and I was in New York for about 6 years. And every now and then I'd talk to my brother, and he'd be good, and then the cancer would come back, and then he'd be good again, like this and this. So it'd been 6 years since I saw him, and he was now battling it. He didn't want to do anything spiritual. He wasn't that kind of a person. If it wasn't just allopathic medicine, it wasn't for him. So it was about the time we were moving from LA to New York. And we were plotting and planning. We were going to drive across the country. We were going to take one car to another car to bring 2 cars from the New York center to the LA center. As long as we were moving, at that point we didn't have kids, so it was just me and my wife. We were going to drive across the country, whatever it take, 10 days. Wednesday, I get paged, right? You remember 1987? Got a page. Call the office. Karen got a message. You're flying in on Friday. Okay. So we pack up the stuff. We, prepare a car to be transported across the country. We get on the plane. We fly in on Friday. Sunday morning, as we used to do back then, we're knocking on doors to introduce people to Kabbalah. And I'm out in San Fernando Valley. And all of a sudden, and now I'd have to say it was an angel, came and gave me a thought. I'm not far from where my aunt lives. I haven't seen her in 6-7 years. Go visit. But go now. Because I'm thinking to myself, maybe I'll go in an hour, I'll go after a while. And this voice basically said, go now. So I drive there, and the brother who had cancer, he lived up north, Northern California. I get to my aunt's house, guess who's there? My brother. Looks like death warmed over. 15 minutes, he's on his way to the airport. So I got to talk to him and be with him for 15 minutes. He went to the airport, this was a Sunday. Tuesday, he was dead. So had Karen not been my angel, I would never have seen my brother again. Now, hopefully you won't need those kind of dramatic things. But what I'd like us to put in our mind is they're constantly angels, like Jacob's ladder. They're up and down all the time. They're going constantly. We just don't see them. We think they're just a thought, they're just that person, they're just that instance that came around. Sometimes, and this is very typical, sometimes the driver in front of you that's holding you up from speeding down the road is the angel that's stopping you from getting in an accident. You never know. Sometimes you see it because 2 minutes later you see all the sirens and the whatever, and there was an accident, and you could have been there. You could have been there, but that angel that maybe you didn't appreciate in the first moment was really an angel to slow you down to prevent that accident. So they're constantly around us. What I would really like for today is to awaken our awareness just to be more conscious. Be more conscious of the people in our lives, the thoughts that we get, to let them be angels for us. That's the key. We can turn them. The same way we talked about Jacob turning the negative angels into positive angels, so can we. Even when somebody says to you, because I know some of you are hearing that voice, well, this person is doing something intentionally to me. They intentionally want to tear me down, and they intentionally want to break me down. You know what? Their angels of darkness can never be as strong as your angels of the light. So even if they're trying to send you negative angels of darkness, if you're sending light, if you're thinking, you know what, but I'll have tolerance, I'll have kindness towards them, I'll send them angels that will awaken up God inside of them. The light will always overcome the darkness, 100% of the time. There's nowhere on earth that if you turn on a light source, it doesn't take away darkness. So then there's nowhere in the universe that if we'll send the angels of the light, that we can't change all those people out there who may be surrounded by negative angels. But instead of trying to get rid of the person because they're doing the bad thing, let's get rid of their negative angels and transform their negative angels into angels of the light. And you know what those angels are going to do? They're going to so overwhelm the mind and the thought of those people that all of the hatred and the animosity and the discord will disappear out of their mind. And the love and the kindness and the compassion and the forgiveness and the tolerance, that's going to awaken. Because the real part of every one of us is the light of God, is the truth. The rest is false. The rest can only be temporary. So today, it's up to us to decide to be those angels. Let's not only look for the angels that are coming our way. Let's decide right now, because we're here in the center and we're learning how we can use angels to change the planet. We use angels how to stop all the chaos and the negativity. It just takes a concerted effort. Don't give in to all the discussion that's out there that's being empowered by the angels of chaos. Oh, look what's happening in America. Look what's happening around the world. Have fear. What's going to be the future? I've got to hoard for myself. I've got to protect myself. No. The only protection is the light of the Creator. If we, or as we decide today, to be like the 9-year-old girl who feels the pain of those people out there. She didn't look at them and say, Mom, Dad, look at them. What did they do that they made themselves like that? Doesn't matter. Do we really need to know why somebody has hatred? No. We just have to know that they're not expressing the light of the Creator that's inside them. Why? Now we understand. Because they're surrounded by those negative angels that are whispering in their ear all the negativity. And it's sounding louder than the angels of the light. So if we start sending them light and we start sending those angels, we can make them hear the voice of God. We can make them hear love, kindness, and compassion. So today it's up to us to commit ourselves that we will be angels in physical form. We will go out and we will touch the heart and soul of every person out there. And we will just send our angels. How many angels can we have? Billions upon billions upon billions upon trillions of trillions. There's no limit to the angels we can send because the Creator gave us its infinite power. And as we today decide to be those angels and send those letters, those messages of light and love and unconditional love, we're going to transform the planet through us to every human being on earth. God bless.